Imagine being 6 years old. No school, no bedroom, no toy box. Yet by sunset, you may have carried a baby, dug for food, copied a hunter, and played with a knife sharp enough to make a modern parent faint. Was childhood before farming simply shorter and more brutal? The real answer is far stranger. No single prehistoric childhood existed. Forager societies differed by landscape, season, and culture, and living communities are not fossils from the past. But comparative research reveals recurring clues about the childhood that helped shape the human species. Start with babies. Among the Aka of Central Africa, anthropologist Barry Hewlett reported that young infants were held during roughly 91% of daylight hours. Care did not come from one exhausted parent alone. Fathers, siblings, grandparents, relatives, and even unrelated campmates could all help. In another Congo Basin group, observed Efe infants passed among many caregivers during the day. So the first surprise is this. Ancient childhood may have begun not with isolation, but with an unusually dense social safety net. Then, as children grew, that net became a launchpad. There were no classrooms organized by birth year. Children often moved in mixed-age groups, where a 4-year-old could watch an 8-year-old, and the 8-year-old could imitate a teenager. Researcher Sheina Lew-Levy's review of dozens of studies found that observation, imitation, play, and real participation blended together. And play did not mean escape from useful life. A tiny bow could become practice for hunting. Pretend cooking could become actual food preparation. Looking after a younger child could begin as imitation and end as real help. The border between game and work was blurry, sometimes conveniently blurry for the adults. But here is the part modern eyes find alarming. Children could gain access to consequential tools surprisingly early. Studies of BaYaka children describe youngsters watching and imitating the use of knives and machetes. That sounds reckless. Yet autonomy did not mean abandonment. Older children and adults were often nearby, correction was available, and skill grew through many small encounters with manageable risk. Why allow it? Because the hardest survival knowledge cannot be downloaded in one lesson. Knowing where tubers hide, how weather changes tracks, or when an animal becomes dangerous takes years of attention. Direct teaching existed, but it was often brief and situational. The environment became the textbook, and everyday life supplied the tests. By middle childhood, some children were not merely rehearsing. Studies of Hadza youngsters in Tanzania found that older children spent more time in productive activity, and some foraging trips returned real calories. But they were not miniature adults feeding themselves alone. Contribution varied by age, season, terrain, and opportunity, while families continued to provision them. Childhood was gradual apprenticeship, not an overnight promotion from toddler to survivor. That creates the biggest reversal. Modern childhood often protects children by separating them from adult responsibility. Many forager childhoods protected children by surrounding them with people while letting them enter adult life slowly, years before mastery was expected. The system had real dangers. Injury, infection, hunger, and child mortality were far harsher than in a safe modern home. There is nothing romantic about that, but hard did not automatically mean loveless, and free did not mean ignored. So what was childhood actually like before civilization? Not school without desks, not nonstop work, not endless play. It was a long social apprenticeship, carried closely at first, released gradually, trusted early, corrected when necessary, and useful before fully grown. A prehistoric child was not waiting to enter the real world. The real world was the playground, and growing up meant learning how to belong inside it. Subscribe for more strange truths about the human story.
Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe.